that don't understand those languages. I will speak English. Sherry, Nigeria, láti ìpilẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá, was never a nation. Some people call nation state, some people call country. And the arrangement we have in Africa now, presently, there are no indigenous nations in Africa, only maybe a few. Perhaps you could look at the case of Ethiopia and say, yes, they are a nation. Tebawo, because Yoruba only ẹṣin ọ̀rọ̀. Yoruba ni, when you say a nation, orílẹ̀-èdè. What makes you a nation is your language. That is the first thing that makes you a nation. You need to understand each other when you speak. So remove the European influence, remove English, remove French, remove Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, German, or whatever. A Yoruba man will never understand an Igbo man when he speaks. An Igbo man will never understand a Yoruba man. Likewise, Hausa. So, Tabawan saw language. When we're saying a nation, the first thing that binds you as a nation is your language. So what did the Europeans do? The Europeans jettisoned our languages. So it doesn't matter whether you are Yoruba or you are Swahili or you are Xhosa or you are Afrikaans or you are Ewe or you are Chui or you're whatever in Africa. They jettisoned that and they superimposed their own language. And then they started forming the people to say you are now nations. That is the wrong way to build a nation. Because what you do is you already destabilize the balance of order. So, ìgbà tí àwọn early advocates for independence, when the early advocates, we are fighting for African independence, they mistook the European arrangement for a nation state, and they started proposing Pan-Africanism. So, ibi tí àwọn nǹkan ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí wọ́ wá nìyẹn. Pan-Africanism is not a bad idea. It's not a bad concept. But if you want to be Pan-African, it has to be in the concept of Africans, not in the concept of European or the concept of America. Those people have their own history. We have our own history. And that's why you see a lot of historians, they twist history for us. There are so many people, Tomani and Omo Yoruba, they migrated. Tabangwani, they migrated. Tabaran Sofunyipe, they migrated. Okay, where did they migrate from? Níbo Yoruba ti migrate wá? Then the first theory they will give you is Yoruba migrated from Israel. In fact, Professor Lang in Germany said Yoruba migrated in 3 phases to Yoruba land. And that's why they have 3 different types of Yoruba tribes. That the first tribe migrated during the time of Solomon, after the guy that Yor Oba. Then he said the second phase was they migrated from Saudi Arabia during the war, during the Muslim war from Saudi Arabia. And then the third one. Now, what Kilawan historian Tuman Lo, they use etymology, which is language that you speak. So there are some people who have also done studies and compared the Yoruba language with the old Egyptian language. The old Egyptian language, which is the Kwa language, the Kwa Congo language. And they brought about 500 more than 5,000 similarities of this language So èmi náà wá ṣe research pé níbo ni Yorùbá ti wá? Where did Yoruba come from? Now, what I saw was everything tó sọ nípa Yoruba was reverse. So, for instance, we are the people of the book, àwa la níwé. So, àwa la nífá. Ifá is book, just like they translated the Bible. Yoruba was in situ. So nǹkan tó ń pè ní in situ ni pé Yoruba developed from the land. So Yoruba did not just start today. And when you're doing things like that, you need to go into research and see, because I can't just come here and start telling you Yoruba is in situ, this, that, without giving you facts. So there was a research, archaeologists came and found graves of ancient people who were buried from Yoruba, buried in Yoruba land. And one of those research, they found a dead body in Iwo-Eleru. Iwo-Eleru is around Ondo State. They found the grave, they brought out the body and examined that body. So when they examined that body, they found that body to be over 12,000 years old. That body was over 12,000 years old. And they examined, then the next thing they did was to examine the DNA. When you say DNA, if you check my DNA and the DNA of my father, they will start looking. So they checked the DNA of that skeleton to the present DNA of the inhabitants of Yoruba land today. And guess what? It is the same. So how do you then explain Yoruba, who has been existing for over 12,000 years in a land, and then you say they migrated? Now, where did they migrate from? They now say Israel. Now compare 12,000 with Israel. Injo only wonder Israel sile. No disrespect to the nation of Israel. Israel came out of Canaan. So Israel came out of Canaan, went to Egypt, was enslaved for 400 years, and they went back. But about Israel from before 2000 BC, that was about maybe 1000 BC. So Israel in itself, it's not more than about 3,000 to 4,000 years. So you cannot say 3,000 to 4,000 years is older than 12,000 years. So those are the things the historians, they were using to confuse our people. And our people, because they want to sell, need to please the Europeans. That is the second phase. Now, I will not even go to the issue of Islam. The second phase, only we migrated from, what was it called? Saudi Arabia, because that's a lie. Because Israel, we know a lot of migration is a norm. Migration is a norm. But there are people who dwelt in places, people who dwelt in situ. So the next phase will now be Egypt. The Egyptian pharaohs, they were all blacks. Dudubi Temini, although I like to refer to them as brown, because I refer to myself as brown rather than black. So the Egyptian pharaohs, they were brown. All the Egyptian pharaohs, there was no Arabic in Egypt. So now, I now discovered that even the Egyptians, they migrated from Yoruba land. So the Bogo migration that they were trying to turn everything to say we migrated from Egypt, we migrated from Israel, we migrated from Saudi Arabia, all those ones are false. So let's put that to one side. So Taba sọ pé orílẹ̀-èdè, it is the language. The Europeans didn't translate it well. They say it's nation. So Nigeria as it is today is not a nation and can never be a nation. However, Nigeria is comprised of indigenous nations. So if you call the Igbo people, you don't call them tribes. They are Igbo nation or Biafra nation, Yoruba nation, Hausa nation. Now there are another people who live in Nigeria. Their civilization was wiped out all of a sudden. They are the Nok people. The Nok people, they are the present day Gbagi people. And Gbagi is in 6 states of Middle Belt, what we refer to as Middle Belt, Nigeria today. So Gbagi is in Nasarawa State. They are they own the entirety of Federal Capital Territory. FCT Abuja belongs to Gbagi people. Gbagi is in Niger State. Gbagi is in Southern Kaduna. And that's why you always see the problem in Southern Kaduna, because what they are trying to do is wipe out this civilization completely from the face of the earth. Gbagi is in Taraba State and Gbagi is in Plateau State. So they occupy 6 states in what we refer to as Middle Belt. Their civilization, terracotta, tamari, that they say this came from old Nok culture. They occupy that territory. Fulani has also tried to take over their land because they wiped them out and turned them into slaves. And majority of them too were sold as slavery during the 16th, 17th century. So put those people together, you can have a Gbagi nation in Nigeria. A lot of people don't talk much about them.